We have a trade to announce. Take a look at this. It's the Winnipeg Jets and the Ottawa Senators getting involved in the trade action here. As we have seen the Jets announcing today, they have traded forward Wyatt Bongiovanni to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for future considerations. Now, just in case you're wondering, okay, what the hell does this mean? What's going on here? What's this trade? Well, the AHL trade deadline is coming up in a little bit, so when it comes to players that are getting moved around down there in the American Hockey League to contending teams, you'll see a bunch of trades going down where movement is happening. We just saw a bunch of AHL moves involving the Abbotsford Canucks. You're seeing this trade over here, and then there was the Montreal, New Jersey trade that happened just a few days ago. We had already talked about this in that prior video, but NHL teams are allowed to make trades after the trade deadline. It's just, unfortunately, for Wyatt Bongiovanni, let's say the Ottawa Senators squeak into the playoffs and they make the dance, Bongiovanni would not be allowed to play for the Ottawa Senators because he was acquired by their organization after the NHL trade deadline, 1 week after the fact, pretty much. So let's go over to our guy over here, Wyatt Bongiovanni, and talk about whom it is the Ottawa Senators are getting for free. And I say for free because, hey, he was traded for future considerations. Technically, it's for free. Bongiovanni is 24 years old, 6 feet, 194 left-handed center, signed till the end of this season on an $800,000 deal. And he was the former Quinnipiac University captain in 2021-2022, scoring 34 points in 42 games played. He was an undrafted free agent signee out of the NCAA, playing 2 seasons with the Manitoba Moose. Last year, he had 18 points in 56 games played. This year, he's got 15 points in 34 games played. Now, unfortunately for me, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Manitoba Moose of all teams. So for Wyatt Bongiovanni, he was a pretty okay scorer, not one of the top guys on the team, but he was still there. A pretty okay and decent part of this forward core. So seeing him go over to the Belleville Senators in the AHL and the Ottawa Senators NHL team, pretty much like he'll be a part of that organization now. This will be interesting to see if he's given a bigger role in the AHL playoffs for Belleville, if he'll actually be able to make an impact, and whether or not the Sens can take advantage of a free player heading their way. This isn't really the biggest deal in the world, but at the same time, I thought it'd be cool to go out there and talk about it because we rarely get to talk about trades nowadays since the trade deadline has come and passed. So, yeah, there isn't even like an article about it. They didn't post themselves a press release about this. That's just kind of how low-key this move really was. So if you're a fan of the Manitoba Moose or the Belleville Senators, or you're just a big fan of prospects in general, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Wyatt Bongiovanni heading over to the Ottawa Senators for future considerations. We'll see what those future considerations will be as the days, months, and maybe even years go by. But, you know, if any of my future considerations, trade knowledge in the past can be applied here, I'll probably say there isn't really anything that's going to happen. But either way, Wyatt Bongiovanni is now an Ottawa Senator. I like his name a lot because it has Geo in there. We also have ourselves another piece of very unfortunate Winnipeg Jets related news, though. And I wanted to combine these two videos together because, you know, Winnipeg focusing on just the Jets. Call me Peg City Lego right here. We had ourselves an update on one Gabe Vilardi that I thought was very, very drastically bad to go out there and look at. Take a look at this tweet made by Mike McIntyre, reporter in the Winnipeg Jets beat system. Winnipeg Jets coach Rick Bowness says that Gabe Vilardi has been diagnosed with an enlarged spleen. This is something that recently was discovered. He won't travel with the team for the 5-game road trip, and there's no timeline on a return. He's also getting treatment. Per the Winnipeg Jets, the spleen issue with Gabe Vilardi was just diagnosed as part of an ongoing medical evaluation pertaining to a different undisclosed issue, so there's plenty of mystery about the whole situation. And I wanted to talk about this too, because when it comes to Gabe Vilardi, not only has he been very good for the Winnipeg Jets this season, 30 points, 38 games played, but he's also been so unlucky with injuries over the years, spanning back to his days in the LA Kings system. He was a top 15 pick in the 2017 draft. He maybe should have been a top 10 pick, honestly. I mean, if you go over to the draft projections over here, you'll see that many outlets had him as a top 5 pick, but because of a lot of issues with health, there were some concerns as to whether or not he would be all that, so what was once dubbed as the potential next Jonathan Toews ended up slipping past the top 10 and into the 11th overall spot. Now, as his career went on, you could see right here, 4 games played in 2018-19, 42 games played in 2019-20. He was slowly developing because he was getting hurt so much. And this became the story of Gabe Vilardi's development in his career, that he was a maybe that was just so unlucky with his health that you really couldn't help but feel for the guy, because there was such a talented profile of a prospect here that we just weren't able to see really blossom into the NHL player that he could be. And as his career went on, he eventually got more games played. The LA Kings had to be very patient with Gabe Vilardi. He was good in the NHL, then he got sent down to the AHL. He was not great in the NHL in 21-22, but then last year, he had 41 points in 63 games played and 4 points for 5 games in the Kings playoff run. This is when he really started to break out, and we started saying, hey, Gabe Vilardi is like actually good. He's doing what we thought he'd be capable of doing. And then this year, after getting traded over in the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, he is in Winnipeg. He's doing very well, but he's already missed out on 30 games due to another injury. And when he came back, you know, in the limited stint that he had, he was getting power play goals. He meshed well with Monahan. He's doing all these really good things. And now it's like, hey, the guy's got an enlarged spleen. He's not going to be able to play for a while. I mean, Mark Stone had himself a spleen issue as well. He'll probably be out until Game 1 of the first round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, because that's, of course, how that's going to go down in Vegas. But we're having a bunch of issues with spleens in the NHL right now, and Gabe Vilardi, because this was found out about during a medical evaluation for something else, I mean, what else is there to say here, man? Gabe Vilardi has been banged up so much throughout his career, and now, after coming back from another injury in Winnipeg, he's got 2 injuries he's got to deal with now, an undisclosed issue as well as an enlarged spleen. This is the unluckiest player in the NHL. And I say in the NHL because the other guys who are unluckier are not in the NHL anymore, like the Nolan Patricks and the Cody Hodgsons, but for Gabe Vilardi, this really is one of those situations where it's like, yeah, hockey gods, please stop interfering here. Let my guy cook. He's already a point-per-game player, almost point-per-game player with the Winnipeg Jets this season. Let's do 30 divided by 38, multiplied out by 82. That's a full season's point pace production of about 60-something points. That's a really good season out of a guy who's 24 years old. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below if you are a Winnipeg Jets fan about the tragic nature of Gabe Vilardi's NHL career. If you're an LA Kings fan, though, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section as well, because this pertains to you too. I mean, Kings fans were forced to watch as this guy was continually getting hurt and not progressing because of it, taking years off of his development plan because he just wasn't able to play. This is seemingly a continuing pattern even as a Winnipeg Jet. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the unfortunate career of Gabe Vilardi, as well as the Winnipeg Jets trading Wyatt Bongiovanni to the Ottawa Senators. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.